This episode was brought to you by Ladies. Step up your lash game and join the Mink Lash Gang. With over 20 lash styles, Mink Lash Gang is your go-to for high-quality, affordable mink lashes. Featuring a durable, lightweight, and easy-to-apply band, with proper care, your lashes will last up to 25 wears. Visit www.minklashgang.com and use the code VYBE for a special discount at checkout. Ames Parker Brand Management. Specializing in social media management and content creation, let AP help you use the power of social media to take your brand to the next level. Contact us at amesparkerbrand@gmail.com for your customized package.
Hey everyone, I'm back. I wasn't here last week due to the weather. I was not driving in no damn rain. From the north to the south, oh no. But I'm glad to be back tonight. Thank God for the weather we have today. And guess what? Today's Thursday.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and a beautiful
Friday, Junior.
Thursday. Yep. I want to say happy belated Mother's Day to everyone. Mother's Day was just past weekend, right, y'all?
It was Sunday.
Sunday, yes. My first Mother's Day.
Yay.
What did I get? So let's go to our guest tonight.
Wow.
Let's go to our guest. I'm gonna let my girl introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Shontia Ashley. I co-star on The University, where the tea is always piping hot. I'm also a journalist student at Ashford University, and I'm working on Fashionista Playbook, so be on the lookout for that.
What?
Classes in
Yes.
session.
Yes, in session. I just have to ask the question, like, I know it's a vivid vibe, but like I said, we real shady on my side of the table. So if y'all need to, like, cut me off, just let me know, like, we need a safe word.
You ain't got no safe words around.
Right.
Okay.
Do your thing.
I like Pornhub, so what's the difference?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, okay, continue. And my girl.
Hello,
My chocolate
hello.
drop over there.
That would be me.
Yes.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sadi here, and I am the Purpose Promoter, and I'm so excited to be back with y'all.
Yes,
I
I'm
enjoyed myself
excited
last
too.
time, so I'm so happy to be back. Excited.
And I got my Miss Beauty over there, Misha.
What's going on, people?
Misha. Oh, you looking cute tonight. I see you showing a little chest tonight. Okay. I'm getting in
It's
trouble.
Friday. She getting ready for the weekend.
Hello.
And the only male we have tonight, but sometimes act like a female,
Uh-oh.
Mr. Dell himself.
Wait, why?
Hi.
This is every day, girl. It's all
Yeah.
I'm not even going in. Thank you. I always
You
can always count on you.
But
Fuck out of here. As usual, this week we'll do the same thing we did last week, and this is focused on mental health awareness
yes.
for women. So you only really hear me, as usual, ask questions and kind of lean back and let the women tell their versions of what they go through and how they survived
I
and
thought he said
what.
version.
Tell our truth.
And, yeah, tell their truth, their perspective,
Yes.
and your truth is your truth, and no one can tell you better than what you feel. So, we can start off today with, guess we'll aim it at leaning, women not having that shoulder to lean on when they're going through things. So, I mean, y'all can pick whoever want to go first. So, as women, and you have these breakdowns of anxiety, depression that we talked about before, all these mental issues, like, at what point do you feel like you have that shoulder to lean on? And if you don't, what are the options you take when you don't have anybody to lean on?
I go first. Shout out to my cousin speaking in tongues. Yes. Before I had a shoulder to lean on, I would say I turned to Mary J and music. So I have a deep connection with Chris Brown. It's only because music separates us. So music and some personal activities is usually, but now I have a nice support system like my cousins, as I spoke. I know I can talk to them if I'm going through something and they'll understand me versus judging me. So, over time, I just think like it feels like you have to surround yourself with people that you feel are positive, that has your best interest in mind, that's not going to go tell the next person what you just told them, and vice versa. And like I said, if not, get some headphones, sit in the corner, and call it a day. Meditate, take a nap, go for a walk, talk to Jesus, till you get your support system.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'm
Right.
feeling that.
Yeah.
Anyone of my lovely ladies over there want to take it?
Sure. For me, because I definitely went through that time period where it felt like nobody understood, nobody could help, and it's especially difficult when you are that person for everyone else, and so it's like, who counsels the counselor, you know? And so for me, it was definitely finding the strength to admit that I was not okay, and having to say, okay, friends, I really need y'all right now. And sometimes that meant, and my friends can tell you, it was like, hey, pray now.
Yes.
And that was literally the whole text. And they already knew what to do and what I needed. But during those times before I got to that point where I felt like I could do that, it was tough. It was really, really tough. And to be honest, I didn't know what to do.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. For me, it was just I've started to exercise a lot more. I noticed a difference, like with depression. Like if I didn't, it wasn't like I'm working because I want to be healthy. It's because if I don't, my mind's not gonna be right. I still have a hard time asking people for help, or even saying like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah, we know.
No, you didn't. Okay, sister. So, but
Sister,
now, like
sister?
I'm
I don't know what that
I'm
sister
starting
in my head.
to be more. I'm starting to open up a lot more. So that's for me.
Can I just piggyback off what you said when you said working out as a part of my anxiety? What I feel like the things that I don't have control over is kind of what triggers my anxiety. And like every week, if you watch University, like I usually switch up my hair if I go to work. I tell people because it's something I can control. So even on the outside, on the inside, if I'm feeling like I don't want to talk to nobody, I don't want to be bothered, I don't look like what I'm going through.
Right.
So I had to work out, and as I say, take a walk, do something, meditate, breathe, because I'm not really a dieter, so I might eat my feelings, then I got to work it out afterwards.
Right. But even looking good, like wearing just even that right there helps too. Be like, you know what? I look good today.
Yeah.
Like that's
Don't come
that
home
extra little
in the car.
boost,
Look good,
You know.
feel good.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me turn? It's me turn. So, what was the question again?
Oh my goodness.
What shoulder?
Feeling like you
well.
don't have a shoulder to lean on.
I'm actually going through that now, So, I'm going through whose shoulder can I lean on right now? Because I'm going
Sisters
through.
at this table.
I mean, to be honest, I'm Miss Lovely Chanel.
Yes.
Like everybody know, I put out there, exactly a month ago, my mom passed away and everything. So I am going through something. What's hard is when somebody call you and say, "Hey, when you need me, call me." But I always wonder. I sit back. This might sound dumb. I sit back and wonder what the hell that means.
How
You-
extended is
How
that?
how do if you need me, call me. I'm always here. But I'm the type of person, I don't know how to reach out. So how can I reach out if I don't reach out? How will you help me if I don't know how to do that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I got people texting me, even me, hey, I got your massage. Like, okay, I don't want to feel like I'm gay. Like, can you rub on my booty or something? I don't know. But
It ain't gay unless you like it.
but people, as soon as after funeral, even before the funeral, people was hitting me up nonstop. This phone was blowing up. Like, dang, I don't want to answer the phone. How many people call me now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to say whose shoulder I can lean on. I can only lean on my own shoulder. I'm the only one can really keep my own head up versus somebody else coming to me and say, "Oh, you're gonna get better." How you gonna get better? You don't go through the same thing I'm going through. So, because people always say, put in God's hand. But at the moment, how I'm feeling right now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't know if I could do anything like that right now.
Right.
So I'm still trying to figure out that shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just lean on mine, or
Yeah.
I have to lean on my 7-month-old son.
Yeah.
Soon as I lay down in bed, I go grab him at his crib and just have to hold him. Like, I had a long day. Besides turn to my spouse, I'm like, da-da-da-da. I don't want to turn to him. I just want to turn to my son. Even though he can't speak back, I'm telling him my whole day. Well, you let me tell you how mama day was.
He listening.
You know, he listening. He listening. Sometimes you just need everybody to listen and just keep quiet.
Yeah.
Because that's that person versus, well, why you told this person that? Da, 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 da. That was wrong, or da, 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 da.
Right.
You don't need to hear none of that. Sometimes you just want somebody just to listen and keep quiet.
And you make a really, really good point. Some people mean well, but sometimes you're like, could you just shut up? Because all of that you're talking about, and I went through that, and I'm a believer, like, to my core. But there were times that I was like, if you quote me one more scripture, if you tell me one more time, you know, and it's like people deal with depression, grief, anxiety, all of those things differently. And so I encourage whoever's listening, like, be wise about what you say to people. And sometimes, like you said, sometimes we just need somebody to listen. It's not, we're not asking you to solve the problem. We're not asking you to fix us. We just need somebody who's going to listen, not judge.
Exactly.
And just kind of be there. So that would be what I would say about
Yeah,
that.
because like the person I used to lean on is gone, you know? And when I was all hearing like, you know, your mom gone, but you have your son, you have your family, you have this and that. But they can't take mama place.
Right. It's not the same.
Well, I have a
Never
question.
can.
Like, I'm Christian, and, you know, I feel like I'm more spiritual than religious. So, like you said, your mother is gone, but do, like, sometimes just talk to her. Like, she's not going to respond, but do you find comfort? Sometimes you might be crying and just talk
I
out
do.
loud sometime, or meditate and be like,
I bet
damn,
people,
mama, like.
I bet people look at my car like I'm crazy. Cause she was my road out, my passenger rider.
Yeah.
So I'm driving still coming here, mama, you know, hey, the show gonna be good tonight. Cause soon as show over, phone call from Doris, you know? So I'm still talking to her. It's like I still could feel her around me and stuff. It's like she's still
there.
doing certain things. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe in God. I believe in God, you know. I always feel like she was here for a reason, a lesson, a test. She passed it with flying colors. Now she gained her wings, you know.
Yeah.
So, because true story, past Sunday, Mother's Day, we went to the grave, you know. I'm like, you know, Mom, you were supposed to be here. We were supposed to celebrate together. You know, I'm about to start crying. And my mama was a jokester. Like, she was trying to scare me all the time. Tell me why I'm putting flowers on her grave, a snake come up. Come out the grave.
Sign she's still here.
I dropped the damn flowers and ran like that. Look that.
Wow.
See you in the next life, Doris, because not today. Not today. But otherwise than that, you know, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going through hard times, so I'm going to go kill myself type shit, you know? I'm not going to do that. I'm too scared to do that shit. So
Nah, I mean, it could push a person to that point, though. I mean, from what y'all have said and just listening, really, it's more so the fear of, like, actually letting someone in to be like, hey, you know what, I'm hurting, or I'm dealing with this, that, and the third. And you don't, when you, and there's nothing wrong with that. When you feel like you reaching out to somebody to express your feelings and you feel like that connection is not there, that's kind of okay. Because then at that point, that might not be the person you need to vent to.
Yeah.
True.
So you do, like you said, Mosadi said earlier, like, you know, just knowing who to talk to. And sometimes it's like, hey, just listen. But sometimes when you do that, just kind of like once you call that person, hey, I just need you to listen real quick.
yes.
You know, and just let it out.
I'm gonna say, what about strangers? Like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you know how some people go to the bar and like their bartender is their counselor. So maybe you might feel more comfortable if you just go talk to a stranger. Not saying necessarily a counselor, but you know, maybe you talk to somebody that you don't know. And then every time I've learned that talking to, like, I'm not sure this is my first time meeting her, but I can tell her something and she can tell me something. Now us talking, we understand each other more and we went through the same thing. So maybe like we already been there and we can help you and we didn't know. Nobody knows what you're going through till you say something about it.
Right.
Yes, I mean, I am doing that. Like, I got my little free counselor that calls me here and there. You know,
Yeah.
I never met this lady in my whole entire life. She just called me out of the blue due to I guess the grief system and stuff, and just called me. I call her up when I feel like I'm supposed to do like a natural born breakdown, you know, or just going to an office the other day. And I was asking the ladies for something, and I mentioned my mother passed, and she was like, "Oh my God, you know, my mom passed away too. Today will be 4 years since she passed away." And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I don't got no mother or father. They both passed away." And they was like, "Yep, my parents passed away too. Believe me, nobody could never tell you it's gonna be easy."
Right.
And that stuck with me for the longest. You know, like it's not gonna get easy. It's not gonna be like, "Oh, okay, let me go make me some eggs and everything. I just forgot about my parents or, you know, the family members that passed away." I even joined a book club. And the book club called Dead Moms Club. It's a good book, y'all. Y'all should read it.
Is that the name of the book or the book club?
I know, right? I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, that's the name of the group? Like, oh, man.
It's both.
Oh.
It's
The book and the club is called the same.
Dead
Oh,
I heard of the
Moms
Babysitter's Club.
Yeah, we all like, wait
It's
a
called
minute.
Dead Moms
I don't know if
Club.
I want you a part of that shit.
Right?
The story is both. It's like I found a little group, you know, that read the same book, and they call, you know, all their mothers passed away.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
What's
so
the
in
next
the
book?
the next book called
Yeah.
Motherless Daughter.
Oh.
But the book I'm reading now called
shit.
Dead Moms Club
Right.
by Kate Spencer, and
Okay.
her story is exactly like mine. Like watching her mother take her last breath. Her mom passed away with cancer too. So take, you know, the only difference in her mom passed away at the house versus mine's passed away at the hospital. So I'm reading the book and I'm like, okay, and we are talking. Yeah, you know, da, da, da. I'm like, this is what I needed, you know, but I'm still on the question, like when a person asks that question, if you need me, call me. Okay, I need my bills paid by the 1st, the 15th.
I'm not sure that's not what they mean.
Right.
Nah, I think when
Well,
you,
certain,
hard.
certain family members might.
Because, you know, hey,
I
this
think it-
funeral wasn't
Oh, you need to
insurance.
go to my
This
church. We
funeral
got,
was
we got
out the
members like
pocket.
that. They'll raise, they'll pass the basket around. So
Call me if
collection
you
plate.
need. Oh, you didn't call, you needed help. Why you didn't
I
call?
think
I
that's
said, why people
one
can't
way to
just
do it,
donate?
though. I
Yeah.
think, like, even you can use me in your relationship. Like, you'll see me text or I'll reach out everything. If I, hey, you straight?
Oh, yeah.
And I know you probably not to tell me. I don't trip. It's just like, hey, you know, that's just my way of being like, you know, I'm
Like
here.
yesterday, you like, this okay, this okay? I'm like, yeah, everything okay. You like,
Yeah, I'm gonna send the
Right.
emoji because I know it's bullshit, but it's all good. Like,
everything
And
okay.
I feel like a real friend would know if something is wrong.
Oh,
If y'all gonna
absolutely.
hang out, like my friends, I don't talk to them for days at a time, but we grew up together, so it's like,
Right.
oh, you know, Shontia living her life. But if I call them in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, "What's up?" and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah.
like a real friend to know, like, even if you don't reach out to me, I keep responding. I'll be like, you know, that's you. I won't force you to talk to me, but you know,
Right.
eventually, I'm like, you know what, maybe get you drunk. You might want to start talking.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That
mean, that's
liquor
what-
make you talk.
I
Make
think
you
some
cry
people,
too. Get it all out.
some
And plus-
people don't know what to say.
Exactly.
You know, they don't know how to respond.
especially when they haven't experienced it.
Right.
Right.
When they haven't experienced it, but also just they don't want to bother you, I think. And I can say for me, sometimes with friends, when I'm like, okay, well, you let me know when you feel like talking. You let me know when you, and because it's that fine line between I want to check on you and I want to make sure you're okay, but I don't want to bother you. And so it's like sometimes you're kind of doing that double dutch because you don't really know
Right.
how far is too far, and then you piss them off, and then they don't want to talk to you at all.
And I mean, I want to shout out to my future sister-in-law, Nicole. She watching right now, and she made me like, it was a little thing she did. She called me last week and was like, "Hey, what's your address?" I'm thinking she probably used me for a reference or some shit. You know, how, you know how black people are, right? So I'm like, I'm not gonna ask her. So she text me Tuesday, like, you check your mailbox? I'm like, oh shit, what did she send me? She sent me a card. It say Happy Mother's Day, your first Mother's Day and everything, right?
Aw.
And you know, the little things make me smile.
Yeah.
You know, it don't have to be, you know, you don't have to buy me a purse or all this stuff.
It'd be nice though.
Yeah. But it was a little thing. It wasn't, and literally, we live probably 5 minutes apart from each other. She didn't come to my house and say, "Oh, here's a card. Here you go." She
Right.
actually
She
did all
took
this
the time
mailing
to
and
mail
actually
it.
write it. Like nobody don't do that,
Yeah.
you know. So that, and because Mother's Day was my mama's favorite holiday, even though she got appreciated all year, it was a competition between me and my brothers. Who gonna get mom the best gift?
That's
Not for her
dope.
birthday, but on Mother's Day.
That's awesome.
And it always been me because I always handmade everything.
Mm.
So with that saying, when she did that, it brought back memories like this what I did my mom. She just been happy with it.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the little things to reach out to people. You don't have to like text. You don't have to talk. You don't have to, it could be, hey,
Let me babysit for a little while you get a nap. Take a
babysit
bath.
for a year if you like.
For a year.
Girl, you would fall apart.
Yeah.
But I know also we was supposed to be hitting on
We can lean towards the conversation we had earlier.
The
with
abortion?
Yeah, and that it's the abortion and then the postpartum. So reason why I want to highlight that is it's one of those things like a lot of times women will have children and what I've learned is like there's a neglection that women feel after birth. Because it's like if say they're married or they're in a relationship, it's like now that I have this child, my partner won't love me no more. That could be a problem, or then you start thinking about your weight and all these other things that come into play. So I feel like we should highlight that. And of course, this was it Georgia. It's Georgia and what else?
Alabama.
And Georgia and Alabama decided
We all knew.
decided to come up with this dumbass thing about controlling women and not being able to have an abortion. So I asked the question, and I was like, they have the exception. I'm like, well, what if a woman
It
gets
ain't no
raped?
exception.
So you said it wasn't.
There's no
they
exception.
So
have
if a
no
woman gets
exception.
raped,
Or incest.
She have to keep the
it
baby.
has to keep the kid, and it's like,
Yes.
oh, well, you gonna go to jail? It's like, well, I didn't even want to have sex with the individual, whatever.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like I'm confused on how you can really tell somebody what to do with their body.
That's
And that's in the Bill of Rights. We have certain rights that can't be taken away from us.
Why? My question is, they giving us this right? You know, this law. I feel like they should give a man don't do what y'all cut off the what's it?
Vasectomy?
Yes, y'all shouldn't do that.
I don't have an answer
because it's a
to that.
form of birth control.
But
I mean, birth control and condoms will pretty much solve all that shit. But at the end of the day, how do y'all feel about
My
that?
thing is, like, say if you said somebody get raped, like the 11-year-old girl they talking about in Ohio, like she barely met the bill that where she can get an abortion, but it's like it's not so much having a baby, it's the 9 months while you carrying a baby, so you probably reliving that memory, you emotional. It's so much going on through your mind now. It's like fuck, like I'm stuck with this baby, like it's reminding me, like some people might can separate it and be like, you know what? I think they was like, I'm not carrying my rapist baby, I'm carrying my. I don't know, something. Thought of. They was like, but it's still my child regardless. I'm gonna love it. So it's like not so much having it because I can adopt the baby afterwards. I can give it to someone afterwards. It's gonna be them 9 months while I'm lying in bed and I'm trying to sleep.
You get that connection.
Yes, yes.
That's it. It's the connection. Then it's the memories. Then it's gonna be twisted because you don't know what to do. And
Right. Something I've noticed though, like they're doing all this, special things for the baby, for the fetus. But then once you have the baby, what are you giving? What services do you have for the baby?
First of
You know what I'm
all-
saying? Like,
First of all,
I mean, it's a service,
right?
but you
you
get
could
penalized.
tell. I don't know, because me
it's just, to
personally,
me,
that's
it's more
my
of
my
a
opinion.
value.
My opinion,
Right.
I'm against abortion. I feel like you shouldn't kill a life, right? But when this baby is born, we have people out here killing babies' lives anyway.
it's gonna be the
It's a
death rate gonna
torture.
go up
Right.
afterwards.
Yeah, it's torture. It's not like, just give it away. It's
Mhm.
like these kids. Look at what's the girl name?
Malia.
They can't even
I-
find her body.
That's the one where they were like the dude in a.
Yes.
Yes.
Look, I just wrote a
Like
paper.
that.
Yes.
I was so
Yes.
confused about that situation.
I can do the
was just
rundown.
like,
It's just
Yeah,
from the
right.
beginning.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
from the
yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
off, you got a bump. Supposedly, you got knocked out. If someone's going to knock you out, they're not going to knock you. Come on now.
It hurts. I feel like
I-
him and the mother should be charged.
Yo, definitely
Yes.
the mother should be charged
The
because
mother,
previously, before the mama went out of town, it was like, well, she thinks he's sexually abusing the child. He's forcing
Exactly.
with
She
it.
knows.
So it's like,
Yeah.
why
At
would
that
I
point,
leave
she
my
knows.
child with you, knowing that I know you touching my child? And then
Right.
another part I read about the story was when the girl went missing, the biological father tried to pick her up from the stepfather, and he was like, no, like he was refusing to let him see the little girl. Like, you can take the little boy, but you can't see my daughter. Like, no, you can't take your daughter with you. I'm like, wait, as a parent, like, police come on, we
Yeah,
about to
but-
bust through the door because this about to be
See,
a
that's
problem.
the problem. That
Right.
that
It's too many signs that was
It was a lot of
ignored.
signs, but even if the real dad would have came, the cops would have been like, they can't get involved because there's no paperwork.
exactly.
But he's
And the
the
baby
stepfather.
they had
It
taken the baby
It don't
away
matter.
from the house like a few months before, and
They're
then the
gonna
baby
say
had just
call
gotten
CPS
brought
and
back.
stuff. You know how long CPS do. They
No,
they
that's
gave
what I
it
said
back.
as a parent. I'm
They
going to
gave
get
it back.
in that house like with R. Kelly and the girls. Like they outside. No, I'm getting in the house. You're not
Right.
going to
We
tell me
busting down
I was
I'm
just
not
thinking
going
about
to see
that.
my child. Like
But
I'm
that's
some
how-
of
getting in
them
the
are
that's how
house.
Kelly
you know the
girls.
shit
Oh, no,
bull.
no,
It's a
no.
lot of
That's what
that
I'm saying. There's
bullshit
too much
because it's like-
cover up.
It is. It's that, and then it's just at the end of the day, man.
And look at the what was that? I think it was a year ago with the
Which one?
dang, what's her name? It was something Day. Something Day. I was just reading. I was just watching the video. But the little girl, her mom beat her to death, and then the stepdad, well, her boyfriend was trying to cover it up. Oh, what was
They
that?
don't watch
Right.
Investigation.
But the
ID.
point-
That sound like an
But the-
episode of Snap.
No, but the point of it, I feel like the own mother,
Mm-hmm.
this person that
know.
carried this child, that's what goes
But-
back to abortion.
But no,
You
that's
know?
that goes to like that literally falls into postpartum. Like you could either like women neglect that child. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every time that child is like in their face, it's like a constant reminder of like telling
Right.
the parent like I ain't want
I mean,
you anyway.
That's
So-
that's
Hear
true.
voices.
But
That's
then
true.
you think
And it's
too,
like
if
shit
you're
start
they're
talking.
saying that, you know, to me, I'm pro-choice. But the thing is, if you're going to have an abortion, have it to where it's safe for the mom. Because now you're gonna, if you're saying no, you can't do this, you're gonna have what women used to do in the back alleys and stuff like that,
Wow.
dying as well.
I feel like it's a lose-lose for y'all, honestly.
I
But
mean,
how
it is,
You're damned
but,
if you do and
Yeah.
you're damned if you
Because
don't.
it's
Absolutely.
because make me wonder, like, okay, you give abortion on this child, but due
You have
to
another one.
you have another one.
But now that's the problem.
That's
so,
like because you wasn't married. You know how some
Yeah.
you know folks, oh,
Yeah.
you're not married, they go get an abortion.
that's what-
you get an abortion, get married, have a kid. You be like, dang,
Yeah.
could this have been
Avoid
this
it.
your
Yeah.
boy or this
And
you
that's,
was
and
have an
that's
older
where some of
sister?
the depression
And yeah,
too can
Yes.
come from. Yeah, absolutely.
that and then
Yes.
you have those things, man. And I, like I said, I just want to bring a lot of this shit to light because that's a problem. So when you think about it, say you decide to get the abortion and then you have a child after that, like men, like I don't even want to bring men into this. I'll just
No,
say
Might as
bring
well.
them
It
in.
takes two to
We're not-
tango.
That's not gonna happen.
Bring
Nah.
them in.
Y'all had y'all chance
We
last
couldn't get
month.
pregnant if the man
Yeah,
wasn't.
shit.
it's two can play that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Two can
takes
play that
two.
game, but that's not what this is
This is
about.
about.
So-
But sometimes it is because, say, if we're married and I'm pregnant and my husband is neglecting me and my husband is making me feel like, damn, I feel ugly, I'm not pretty, my husband's not paying me any attention, that could lead to depression too, as well as like, now, damn, like because of this baby, my life is ruined. My husband don't feel the same way. I don't look the same.
I had like an experience like that almost. What kind of? Because after I had Legend, 2 weeks, I had Legend October 5th. 2 weeks later, my mom found out she had diagnosed with cancer. So how I felt towards Legend a little bit. I love my child. Don't get me wrong. I love my child to death. I'll kill anybody over my child. But how I felt towards Legend, I'm like, if you wasn't born, would my mom still be here? You know what I'm saying? Or why my mama? That's how I kept feeling like my mom was here for all her other what at that time was probably like 14 grandkids. I have
Yeah,
Legend.
a lot.
Yes, you saw at the funeral.
Yes.
It's a gain of them, and so I have my first son, my first child, and my mom is fit to leave me. So it's like I gave life to lose a life. So it's like a scale, you know. So I was looking at him like, I love you, son, but you know, made me wonder if I never got pregnant, Well, my mom would be.
Or
just
maybe he was
help
there to
me.
help you cross over, like help
That's
you
what people
ease.
say,
Well,
yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but like after I had my son, that's when I went through depression. And like I love my son, I don't hold nothing against him. I was like, I was grown when I laid down. I'm gonna be grown and get up and do it. Like my life is altered, but I can't blame my child.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear voices that was negative towards my child, that's when I start to recognize, like, wait a minute, like my child is a blessing. So if something is unhealthy in my mind and I started to recognize it, I was able to work past it. So like you said, damn, maybe it's a life for a life. You might need to think of vice versa. Like God knew what was planned and I was going to need some strength. And with my mother gone, like my baby is there for me. So even now, like Mother's Day, you don't want to be depressed around Mother's Day because your son might have a bad memory of Mother's Day. So it'll be the day to go big. Be like, remember we celebrate my mama, we celebrate me. Like I want that same joy. Like you
Yes.
better get to putting macaroni together at 1 2 months.
Exactly. That's why I thought Daddy was going to like just go out. This, for real. But even before I had Ledger, I was feeling depressed.
Yeah,
Due
I
to
remember you saying
I was feeling so low. And it was like in my head I thought I was gonna have this fairy tale pregnancy and it wasn't. I was having this up and down with my spouse and it was like, what the hell? I'm pregnant. You think if a woman pregnant, they should just be like royalty because you're pregnant with your child.
Yeah.
But it was just a fairy tale to me.
Right.
My little fantasy. And
Yeah.
then right after I had Legend, probably the next day, I looked in the mirror and saw my scar. I cried. Like I lost my body.
Like a cesarean scar.
Yes.
Oh.
And you barely could see it, but like my stomach ain't the same. You got the stretch marks. Like stretch marks came like the day before I had Legend. Like I was good all during my pregnancy, cocoa butter, all that stuff. Day before I had Legend, it was just stretch marks. I just like cried and cried and cried. I ain't got no belly button. Why I'm gonna put my belly button ring at now? I can't even.
That was
It
your
just
concern.
Yes.
She couldn't get the belly button
But
ring.
I want my body back.
In the age of now, when I was pregnant, my son he just turned 5. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if it's gonna work out with me and my baby daddy. I don't know. I'm not with him. And I was like, if I get overweight and let my body, but I'm like an overweight Chinese person. No offense, Chinese people. It's just the way my body was built. But I was like, it's people like Amber Rose. Like I'm gonna be a myth. Like I'm not gonna let me having a baby deter my body. Like I'm gonna be fine. And if I have to be single and this relationship don't work out, people trying to be stepdaddies. So. I was like, shit, I'll do it for myself if not for nobody else.
Facts.
Yeah. So
I'm
that's
There's
true.
a whole lot going on in that
'Cause you
brain
just-
over there.
I know
Like,
people
what do
say
I
you have to
say?
love you first. You have to
I
love
ain't
you
gonna
first.
get
You have
to
to
that.
love you first. That's all you matter. You have to love you first. But how can you love yourself if you just look at me like, damn, I'm not the same? And you going through things back to back. It's like, dang, Lord, can you leave me alone for at least one good year?
I have a question with that.
Yeah.
With everything we have said, and our audience is like 90% women. What would be some outlets, and what ways can we
Help.
help? Like at the end of the day,
I'm selling weed.
no,
Ooh,
No,
what you got? Look, what you got? I gotta have the call.
I already know. You
Weed,
Yeah.
pills, and I'm joking.
No, but like on a
Drink.
serious note, like it's
Go to jail
it's-
after this month.
we at Vybe focus on positive vibes. That's our biggest thing, and putting it out there is like this is a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like with the four of y'all at this table, and it's like with y'all having the mics in front of y'all, being able to put out there like, okay, you guys are survivors.
Yeah.
Don't at some point you gotta look in that mirror and be like, I got this shit. And I tell you all the time, you ain't gonna
Yeah.
go through shit that you ain't built for.
Yeah, that's
So-
true.
Absolutely.
I think it's just hard when you think about these topics that we've had even last week and the week before last, and I've kind of just sat back and just listened, and it's like, shit, like how do we like figure this shit out? Like how do we get the women to start leaning on each other instead of attacking each other? So I guess going through with the anxiety and the postpartum and the depression, like even with calling people, I seen a post, I don't know what it said word for word, but it was like, when you have anxiety, it's like when you feel like anxiety is kicking in, it's like get up and move around. Like,
Oh,
so
yes.
a lot of
Yeah.
times
And
what happens,
breathe.
like
Yes.
if you feel like the depression's kicking in or the anxiety's kicking in, you got to move around. And you have some people that use like, I think where episodes that I've seen someone dealing with anxiety or depression, they'll call somebody and lean on them. And like that other person has to be able to like stop what they're doing because it's serious shit. Like if anxiety and depression kicks in, you know, suicide is like right behind it.
Exactly.
So can I?
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna,
ahead.
I'm gonna be very, very transparent. So, had a lot of things, a lot of trauma, things like that. Growing up, didn't grow up in the best neighborhood. You know, abuses, all kinds of things. But I was always in people's eyes the strong one. You know, I was always a strong one. But I was what people would also call a stuffer. So I'd be like, oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm okay. Oh, I'm good. And what I was really doing was literally stuffing all of those things on the inside. And it began to rear its head. First time I really noticed it or could put a definition around it was when I was working on my master's and when I was in graduate school. And I would have these thoughts. Like, literally, I'd be driving down the street, and I'd be like, if I just turn my car to the left, you know,
Damn.
I could be done with this. Like, I was trying to, like, be out of there. And so I ended up going to counseling, medication, all of those things, kind of worked through, you know, that phase. Ended up, you know, having kids, getting married, getting divorced, you know, doing all of this stuff. Got a whole doctorate, you know, so people would look at my life and think, okay, well, you're good, you know, you're educated, your kids are great, you know, you don't want for anything, but was still battling all of these issues and still that same bad habit of stuffing. And so I found myself, I remember, I'll never forget, I was at work one day. And I had just been kind of crying, but you know, you cry in private. You know, you cry in private, but then when you get to that point where it's like it doesn't matter where you are, you can't hide it anymore.
Stop.
Right.
And so I was at work and I was having one of those days, and I was like, maybe if I just close my door, cry real hard, get it out, I'll be
good.
fine and go on with my day.
I cried out.
But that particular day, I could not stop. And I couldn't breathe. And basically, I was having an all-out anxiety. I went into my boss's office, and I was like, hey, it's something wrong with me. Like, I need to go to the doctor. Something's really, really wrong. So, long version short, I ended up going to the hospital and having, you know, the doctor check me out, all of that kind of stuff. And she tells me, she's like, I want you to go over to this other place and let me know when you make it. So I'm like, okay, you know, not thinking anything of it. Y'all, I get there, you know, so I walked through the door, didn't realize I had walked through a metal detector, okay? Then didn't realize that they had taken my purse from me. Door had slammed behind me. Door had slammed behind me. Lady was talking to me, asking me all of these questions, and then it's like after, and I'm a sharp cookie, so the fact that I wasn't realizing any of this let y'all know what kind of mind state I was in. So I get in there, and she starts asking me these questions, and then it kicks in, and I looked at her, and I said, ma'am, am I to assume this is not a regular hospital? And she looked at me, she said, baby, this is a mental health institution. So 6 days. I was in the hospital for 6 days. But when I tell you, I would not change that experience for my life because it saved my life. It saved my life. Because while I was there, one, it taught me I was not the general master of the universe. Like the world would go on without me. Because, you know, I was very much like a leader and everything. And, you know, I had stuff at work. And,
You
know,
want to let people down.
Right.
Right.
And then, you know, even with my kids, it was like, oh, Lord, who's going to take care of my kids? You know, and people stepped in. All of that was taken care of. You know, their dad rose to the occasion. All of that. But yeah, those 6 days I would not change for anything because I was able to be diagnosed. But it also allowed me to know that trauma is real.
Yes.
So I'm saying to y'all, trauma is real. That stuff that happened to us a long time ago,
Yes.
if we've never dealt with it, it will manifest
It will come
itself.
back
I believe
up.
that too.
Exactly.
And then sometimes you don't
Yeah.
even realize it. You be like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, like,
Like,
that's
why
what
do I feel like
Uh-huh.
that? Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
my story's a little different. Like I self-diagnosed myself, and a part of that it was like, damn, I need to go back and see who I need to forgive in my life. Like what is leading up to this point? Like why do I feel this way? And you have to revisit. And I think a lot of reasons why people don't turn to help is because of their idea of it. Like you telling me was my first time hearing someone said they went through the process. So most people think they going to a mental facility, it's gonna be screaming, it's gonna be a lot of crazy people jumping off the wall. So they like, damn, I don't want to go get help, and then people judging me that I'm locked in a room under surveillance.
I went through that.
That's the key.
Yeah.
People judging.
What you just said right now, that's
Yeah.
the fucking key.
Duh.
But no, it's one of those things. Sometimes your thoughts can destroy you.
Oh
Absolutely.
yes.
So what happens is what she's saying is from like this is the main reason why nobody talks. It's like I don't want to say, no, I don't want them to judge me.
Yeah.
Once you get in that feeling where it's like, yeah, I stop giving a fuck what people
Yeah.
think.
That's how I feel
Right.
They
now.
don't care.
I
In
really don't
actuality,
give a
they
damn.
don't care.
Yeah,
And even your
it-
close friends, they don't give a fuck. Like they
I
gonna
really
support
don't
you.
give a
girl,
damn
you
no
doing that
more.
too. I was
Yeah.
feeling the same way.
It
I
became
feel-
about saving my life
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
saving my children's life. And I had a couple of my friends who they started going to therapy, even though they were like, I don't really think it's anything wrong, but I'm gonna go to therapy, you
Right.
know.
And so you
Anyway,
touch those
just in
people,
case.
like-
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, so for me, it's like, judge me if you want to. I don't
'Cause-
really care.
Yeah.
Them thoughts gonna actually kill you.
They can.
So
Cause I feel
Yeah.
like cancer
ahead.
didn't actually kill my mom. I think it was her thoughts, and people like
She
putting more
let it
stress
take
on her.
Mhm.
Did that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I could be completely wrong, but that's how I feel because she was always stressed.
That's what people say.
stressed,
Sometimes,
stressed,
like people to
stressed.
fight the cancer, because my grandfather has had lung cancer twice, if I can remember, and he had it removed from his throat. Not lung cancer, it was throat cancer because he had it removed from his throat. And I feel like it was like his willingness to want to fight. And a lot of people be like, "Well, it's not gonna take. It might take my body, but it's not gonna take my spirit."
Yes.
And
So that's why I was saying, like, I don't think it was the cancer. It was
Yeah.
because she was really fighting.
Yeah.
But that aunt that always called with problems and this and this,
She's
or
tired.
she worry about this. So I was just rather say, you know what, get your rest.
Yeah.
You know,
how do you know? Like
No,
as
you
know
women, how do you?
How
at
you
what
know it's
point
too
do you
much?
like not even being too much. Like how do y'all figure out like, hey, I have depression. Hey, I have anxiety. Hey, I have postpartum depression. Hey, a mental illness. Like, at what point did you figure it out? Or was it like more so like I think a lot of times humans, but we really pinpointing our women out there. It's the people around you that kind of elevate the shit.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's-
mean?
That's pretty much for me. Like when I've started having depression, someone would kind of look at me like, "Hey, you're not smiling like you used to. You're not doing this." And I thought about it. I was like, "Yeah, I guess maybe you're right." And then I started noticing more and more, like, man, like something's not right.
I had
And-
I don't mean to cut her.
No, it's fine.
I must say, I kind of had like an enabler, if that's kind of say, like I was walking around like nobody knows what I'm going through, so on the outside it's normal. And so like my brother had a girlfriend, and like she was like a real heavy like pill user, and not knowing what I was going through, it was like, damn, you know what, I just want to escape for a little while, like I just want to be high, like we doing it, but I want to see where I can go a little further, like I want to see how long it's gonna last. That's like after a while I noticed, and I was like, damn, I don't like the hangover. Like I need to do something with my life, because sitting around riding around with somebody else giving me something, it's not helping. My son was safe. Like I was always aware of my son. Like I was aware of my body after getting pregnant. So it was never to the point where I was so high that I didn't know what was going on with my son. And so like I said, the people around me, they didn't help, but at the same time they did help, because after I was like, you know what, this is unhealthy. Let me refocus the people I'm with and do something more positive. And like I
Go ahead. No, I'm
Like
letting you
I
finish.
said, that's when I started hanging around my cousin. I started reevaluating the people I was around. I was like, the relationship I'm in is not healthy. I was like, you know what? I need to get back in school. That's something I always wanted to do. I was like, little steps at a time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the person that I want to be, not who people think I need to be or who I feel like. I'm going to fake it till I make it. And apparently, like, everything came around together. I still have, like, mild depression episodes where I sit around for days. I don't want to do nothing. But then it's like, oh, shit, like, you going through a habit, you going through a phase, get up, like, let's say exercise, do something.
So, I mean, all four of y'all are going through some shit. Like,
Fuck you.
it's not a bad thing.
Mary Jane.
But I'm glad she said. But I'm glad she did that. So as women, this is a key thing what I'm about to ask. As women, anxiety, depression, and all these things that go through mentally, do you feel like that is why some women are so fucking angry?
No.
Like, not this. is what
Now
I'm
it's y'all
saying. No,
niggas that's
That's what I'm
turning
That's
saying. You see the kind of bills they
Hey.
passing?
Use your mental real quick. Use your mental real quick, not your
Yes.
not your emotions.
Because sometimes a man will
No,
push that other
absolutely
side.
not.
Maybe
Again,
frustration, not
again,
anger. It might be
again.
more sad.
You started.
versus angry.
Listen, when I ask this question,
Yes.
use your mental,
Okay,
not
you
your
know,
emotions.
thinking
Yes.
Put your thinking caps on when I ask this question. The reason why I'm asking that, it doesn't have nothing to do with another male or another species. What happens is this, and I've dealt with people, and I have people in my life now that deal with these things. So what I've learned is it's almost like, say you have anxiety or you have depression, you had a dream, right? And the dream fucks with you. Wake up and nobody's there. But the dream felt so real, you couldn't stop it. So now your anxiety and your depression is like kind of like doing one of these things,
Yeah.
which triggers frustration. Then it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, this, that, and the third. And now anger comes in. So the first person that comes in
Gets the
gets the lashing. That's what I mean by that. It has nothing to do with males, none of that. Again, this goes back to what I was saying. This is a mental awareness, meaning
Yes.
a lot of this shit comes from with depression and anxiety and all these things. It's your mind literally like overwhelming you to the point where it's like you
It's hard
become
to turn it off
I
sometimes.
know but sometimes
Like at night.
exactly,
That's
and you
true.
can't, and that's the worst time.
Well, that's true, but sometimes you can turn to your spouse and open up to or open to whoever, you know.
My babies,
But
my cats.
you know, well, your cat can't talk back.
But I think
Yes,
based
they
on
can.
what he's saying, though, it's that when you don't have that, or when you're feeling frustrated and you don't feel like you can be vulnerable enough
you're gonna be just
to
mad at
share,
everybody.
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I
this is
understand
what
that.
I'm really feeling. It's like, if I don't feel like I can come and be like, babe, you know, I'm feeling anxious, or I'm gonna let it manifest itself and like get out my face, you know, because
But-
that's the protection.
But real quick, sometimes when you do open up to that person, whoever, and that person throw it back in your face,
I've had that
That
happen.
then
shit
you be
don't
like,
help.
what the
But it,
fuck?
but it
Like, you
adds
come-
to the it
Yeah.
adds to the anxiety.
Exactly.
Then that come to like you go back in your little box. And
Exactly.
Be like,
Right.
who
I
can
took
turn
it
to?
a
And you
different
suffer
way, his
alone.
question. I was feeling like, like I already know what I'm going through. So, I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And then since I'm already angry, it's like, okay, my boyfriend right here. So it's like, I'm mad already. So it's like, damn, now I'm mad. I ain't got no cover on me. But my favorite phrase is, if I didn't make you angry, don't take it out on me. Give it to the person that made you upset.
Right.
So if I know that
It's
that
that
person is not
transference of that
triggering
energy.
Yeah.
my emotions, I try not to take it out on the person. I let them know, like, give me a little while, like, let me be to myself because I'm on the wrong side of the bed. And if you continue to irritate me after I've gave you a warning that I'm not feeling too like myself, give me a little while. Like I said, Chris Brown saves a lot of moments. I'd be like, let me roll, let me listen to Chris Brown, like, let me get my mind together, like, let me talk to Jesus. So I try
Chris
not
Brown
to
and
put that
Jesus.
emotions on people. But like I said, if you want it and you're constantly coming at me and I'm telling you that today is not the day, it's not nothing to do with PMS or me being a woman, it's just me mentally, I'm not there today.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
And I think it starts too with people just acknowledging, you know, people
But you know you
acknowledging
depressed. Like,
that there's
what the fuck?
something. Because for a long time, I would just be like, I don't know, I'm just really sad.
Yes.
or I just don't feel good.
Right.
Or
Trying to figure it out. Like, wait a minute. Like,
so then that's one of the reasons why the stay in the hospital helped me so much, because it helped me to not be afraid of certain words. It helped me to not be afraid of saying, okay, well, I was diagnosed with PTSD and major depressive disorder, because that allowed me to put a word to it, as opposed to there was just this feeling and not knowing what the feeling was, and so now I feel like I can combat it, and I've been doing great with it, but it also allows me to be there for other people in a non-judgmental way, because I don't know many other people that have actually been committed to the hospital, and so if I feel like if I can come out, and I'm a pretty public figure, if I can come out and say, hey, look, I was in there for 6 days, if I can do that, then I hope that it can encourage other people, not necessarily that they need to go commit themselves to a hospital, but at least to be able to face up to, hey, it's probably a little bit something more serious than I'm just a little sad. Therapy is your friend.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because you're not judged. You go in, you release the energy, and then
they say the right things to you.
But that's what you need.
They say the right thing. If you don't feel like doing, don't do it. Versus it's you have to do it.
But you got to be open to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But can't
that's what I
too?
think it is. A lot of people is not open to the help. So it's like, I'll go see the counselor. I'm gonna listen, but this lady just thinks she know what she know, and
She just getting
she
paid.
ain't gonna help me.
But
So
again,
they already shut off to the lady.
Right.
So it's like it's nothing you can do because I don't want to be helped by
Right.
you. And then some people just need some tough love. Like they just need to be like, hey, get up, get off the couch. Like that old what was that college commercial? Like I see you looking at me. What you doing? Sitting on the couch? Get up.
I was just like you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
but-
people need
I
that.
have a kid. You can. I ain't going to school.
So it goes
That was
back.
encouraging.
Yeah.
There's more people like that in the world.
But that's your team.
Right.
But a lot of times, like you said, I think people this is a key. I feel like this would be a key to a woman having it, even if she's your best friend, your sister, your mother, whatever label you want to give her. And this is not me speaking as a male. Don't listen. Look at me from the perspective of a male. Just hear my voice. Because I don't want y'all to be like, oh, niggas. Just hear my voice.
Nigga fart. No, I'm just-
You have to bring the people in that know. So what happens is, like, if you don't have people around you that inspire you, it makes it that much worse on something that you lack in. If you don't have that willpower some days, you got to have that friend that'll be like, you know what, get your ass up and go talk.
Yeah.
Me and Mish have one of the best relationships because it's like we built that. Me and you have it. Troy has it. Like, all of us have it to where you're just stubborn. All of us have it to where no, it's like you start building these relationships with people, and you give off the energy you give off is the energy you're gonna receive, and that's just real talk.
That's the
So,
law of attraction too.
If you wake up and a person has that moment, the average individual that doesn't deal with it, like I can't openly say, oh, I ain't never deal with that, but again, this is just
If
women.
it's just women tripping, I mean, if they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's why I said this is strictly women. It
You know,
has
just
nothing
a
to
lot
do
of
with
people be
men.
like, you just tripping. Like, they be like, you're emotional. Is it your time of the month?
Right.
Like, they try to make
I hate
excuses
that.
for
But
it
you know
But
what's
can
versus
funny?
listening.
can two depressed people be together?
Yes.
But how would that work?
It depends on how their depression manifests itself.
If y'all are,
Like, junkies, like,
Yeah.
they bond. They just something to bond over, I guess.
it's a way around it.
But
It's
that
a way.
support system, maybe if they know what each other's going through, I can help you, you help
Yeah.
me.
It's knowing the what's the word? The key word. Like, if I get upset and it's like you tell your friends or whoever, it's like, hey, when you start seeing me get upset, be like, hey, I'm not your enemy. I'm not here to hurt you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that calms down
say, get the fuck away
anxiety and
from me.
depression. And you never know. Like, you can call somebody. Sometimes it's the way we call people. And it's like,
It's like
what you
text.
want, Chanel? It's like if I text, if Chanel called me, I'd be like, man, what you want? Automatically, she like, well, shit, he got a problem with me talking to him. Fuck it.
I'm not.
Instead of being like, it's like, give off the energy. If I answer the phone, what's up, sis, man? I ain't talked to you in a long time. I love you. What's up? Your whole aura's gonna change.
I'm like, what you
You gonna
want?
calm down. You like,
I
well,
didn't know why I
how's
was
your
mad.
day? Like a lot of times, I think, like I said, the society has pushed
negative.
women so far apart.
Yeah.
We felt like here, why we felt like, let's bring light to the division. It's so divided, and women are so angry with each other. And half the time, they don't know each other. And it's just like, well, she looking at me, and then it taps into an insecurity, and then the other person probably didn't even realize
Right.
Yeah, what's
that was
going
there.
on?
You know what
There's
I
a
mean?
lot of people get to
We take a
argument
lot
like
of
that.
things
Bitch,
per-
what
we
you
take a lot of
looking
things
at?
way
taking
too
shit personal. The
personal.
person didn't
Yeah.
even like know.
And that's my thing too. I tell people like I don't let people get me angry or take me out of character. I feel like if you can affect my emotions, you already have too much power over me. So a lot of people, I prefer not to argue. Like if we have to raise our voice and curse at each other, like let's walk away and talk about it again. Unless some people are provoked and it's like you take me there, let's go there. But for the most part, I try to be in control of my emotions. So if I do have an outlash, I can't blame the person next to me and be like, well, he pushed me off the bus, so that made me angry, so I blew the school up.
Yeah.
So I just
That's
try.
another topic.
It
Another topic, another day. But you know what? Let's leave tonight with some positive note.
We always do. And
Oh,
what do
I'm
we
just-
do? You want to say it or no?
What?
As we've been doing every other goddamn week, the four of y'all.
Oh, tell each other something nice about each other, right?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I wasn't here last week.
We were here the week before. Cut it
Really,
out.
Chanel?
I'm just saying. I'm
Each
so mixed
person
up
at the
'cause
table gives a compliment to the next woman and so forth. And
That's
then
cool.
we
I do
close.
everybody or I do the person next to me.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Okay,
The
I'll
person
start
next
off
to
at
you.
the end of the table. Miss Jasmine, am I correct?
Misha.
Miss Misha. You have
look
a
like
warm
a
person.
jazz.
name, girl.
I thought that's what they
You
said
look like a
last week. I
jazz.
was trying to catch up and feel the vibe, but since I've come, like your personality has always been warming and welcoming. So even now, like I don't know you guys, I was like, hey, what's up? Sit down, sit where you want to sit. So your personality is very welcoming. That's my compliment to you.
Thank
As
you.
well as you're a beautiful black woman.
Thank you,
Nice
thank
chocolate
you.
drop. Yes, I see the natural. You work in this pantsuit and this color blocking. So yes.
Thank you.
And to you.
Come on, come
Have you learned my name yet?
Yes.
That's okay. Hey girl. Like the same person. Like I said, y'all all like warm and welcoming. Like you're happy and smiley as well. Like I like the glitter. I like that you're able to express yourself and that you're giving women the platform to talk about each other. So even though you're saying like I don't know who to reach out to, I don't know who to help. Even now without trying, like you're giving somebody the platform to speak. So I acknowledge you that you're stronger than what you think you are.
Oh, that's so sweet.
My cousin wrote a question. I don't know if
Oh,
I
he
read
did.
questions
It's
about
good.
bipolar.
I got it. I
Okay.
responded. Dr.
Okay.
Mosadi.
Oh.
That's my
Yeah.
child.
I know. That's why I'm. Let's go.
Okay. So, Misha, I love that you are uniquely you. Like, regardless of what anybody else thinks, you are who you are, and you are good with that. She's like, I'm about to go get my baby.
Go get him. Go ahead.
It has been such a pleasure meeting you. I see your strength. I see your strength, and yeah, it's good. It's a good aura. And that crazy one over there that just ran out the door, she just is who she is.
Oh, you talking about my ticking time bomb? That's my dog,
She
man.
is who she is. Yeah, I like her. I like her humor.
She'll come back and watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So.
she will.
So we have a little bit time left.
Oh.
Here come our fan favorite here.
I like babies. I want
Say,
kids.
why you
Legend. That boy say, I don't want them lights, no lights.
Look.
I wasn't ready.
So, let's tell these ladies they are beautiful. They are queens. And guess what? It's Vybe Vybe, and we
We
out.
out here.
Happy early birthday,
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
birthday.
Dell.
How
Happy
old you
early
turning?
birthday.
Good night.
45.
We already closed it. Don't matter.
This episode was brought to you by ladies. Step up your lash game and join the Mink Lash Gang. With over 20 lash styles, Mink Lash Gang is your go-to for high-quality, affordable mink lashes. Featuring a durable, lightweight, and easy-to-apply band, with proper care, your lashes will last up to 25 wears. Visit www.minklashgang.com and use the code VYBE for a special discount at checkout. Ames Parker Brand Management. Specializing in social media management and content creation, let AP help you use the power of social media to take your brand to the next level. Contact us at amesparkerbrand@gmail.com for your customized package.